Here, and today's talk is on step one in creating a well nourished life. So, let's start with just saying what in the world does a well nourished life mean? So, we think of the word nourishment, and often we associate that just with food. But nourishment is so much more than food. Nourishment is allowing us to gain everything that we need in order to be healthy and thriving. So, nourishment for our minds might mean that we need meditation or that we need alone time or time with friends and family. So, that nourishment will vary depending on the person and depending on what you're lacking. But in all reality, there is a certain level of nourishment that provides a nourished life for each and every person. But in a nourished life, the big things that we want to focus on is, yes, diet and nutrition, but also lifestyle. So it's not just what you eat, but it's also when you eat. There's also exercise because exercise can provide our body nourishment in another way. So often we think that in order to lose weight that we just need to go to the gym and exercise, and I'm not quite sure where that belief came from. However, that is not true. Exercise is really for nourishing our flow of energy, so having and creating energy for ourselves as well as releasing any pent up energy that needs to be put out, but it's creating healthy bones and it's creating healthy circulation. To lose weight is in the kitchen. And I'm sure you all might have seen those quotes before that abs are made in the kitchen, and that is completely and utterly true. And we can come onto that as another conversation. But also, the biggest thing that we really need to focus on, not only our mind, but also our soul, our heart, our energy, our desires. These are huge components in feeling like we have a nourished life. So, Alexa is very loud. I'm sorry. Uh, Leo is constantly in and out of the backyard, so it's always going off. But yes, so making sure that we enjoy our life is going to be a huge component of feeling like it's well nourished. And so, in that, step one of having a well nourished life is awareness. So, we need to be aware of where we are, but also what we want. And so often, if I asked someone, like, what do you want your friend life to look like? What do you want your family life to look like? What do you want your exercise life to look like? What do you want your life around food to look like? And not only what does it look like, but also what does it feel like? And that one can sometimes be a difficult conversation to have. Going, what is it that you really want to feel about food? What do you want that relationship to be? Because in order to have a nourished relationship, we need to have this flow in and flow out. And so, a lot of times when we think of nourishment, we're also thinking of energy because food is energy, right? And we're putting nourishment in so that we can have the energy that we would like to be able to have the day that we would like to have. And not to make this all about food because it is not. However, we are starting our 10-day cleanse. Starts on Monday again. And that cleanse is not just about food either. So it's making sure that we have the healthy habits that support the healthy lifestyle that we want to have. And so during that 10-day cleanse, we are avoiding some certain foods, but that's not the focus. The focus is on accomplishing the beautiful, healthy tasks. That aside, when we have the energy coming in, when we have the healthy nourishment for our mind, body, and soul, we're able to then have the energy that we need to show up in the way that we need. So often I see people with beautiful minds, beautiful hearts that are fully capable of doing certain jobs, but they're unable to hold that job or really fully live up to that potential because they're tired, because they're stressed, because they just don't feel capable, because they feel drained. So if that's you, you know that you can do something. You know you could start your own business. You know that you could be the CEO of a company. You know that you could raise up and have that promotion at work that you would like to have. However, there just seems to be a lot of things, and this is where we might be in blame or excuses, and they might feel extremely logical, and that is okay. But you feel like there are things that are blocking you. Maybe it's in life where you're like, I know I can be this extremely healthy version of me. I know that I can be fit and I can and have all these things that I want. However, there's something that's just preventing me from getting there. When we look at that, it's getting ready to go off again. He is in and out that door nonstop. I don't know what he's doing. He just took a whole bunch of my sheets outside. I'm not going to say anything. Leo will be 8 next week, by the way. Oh, so crazy to think about. Okay, so in order to get to that next level, we first must be aware of where we're at. So I always use the analogy of a map. So you have a map and you have a destination, and you should also know where you're at. So destination and where you're at. Often we don't know either one of them super crystal clear, and that creates a problem. So if you know where you're at, then that's good, because then you can gauge what's nearby, what's available. And also, if we know where we want to go, we can also say, here are the steps that are closer around that. I need to reach for those. So we need at least one of those points. We have to start with at least finding one. And so whichever one is easier for you, start with that. Knowing and assessing where you're at typically is one of those easier ones. However, sometimes maybe we're a daydreamer, and daydreaming about where you want to be is just forefront and crystal clear on your mind. Like, I know for sure what my dream house looks like, what my dream business looks like. Yes, I could probably refine it even more, but that part is really crystal clear to me. Assessing where you're at. Ready? And so you might want a pen and paper as you write these down to really figure out where you are and rating that. So let's look at your body. Your body, and we're going to break this down because there's different ways. With your body, where are you at on your stress level? 0 being you've got hardly any stress, 10 meaning you're at your max, you don't think you can take any more stress. So rating yourself on stress. So I'm going to type this in the box. Let's rate ourselves on stress. And this is not only our mind, but also our body. So with that being said, like, I consider the mind part of the body in this sense. Number 2, how are we on sleep? Because this also very much affects our mind. Where are you at on sleep? Now, we can look at this at 2 ways. Do you have a healthy sleep routine? Like, you feel like you get enough sleep, or do you feel extremely tired, like you're lacking in sleep and you don't have a very good routine? Okay, and so 0 would be, I'm great on sleep, I don't have any problems with sleep. 10 is, oh my gosh, like, I hardly sleep, I feel tired all the time. Okay, let's look at number 3 is your nutrition. Do you have a lot of cravings? Do you feel like you're eating lots of fruits and veggies? Okay, so if you feel like your nutrition is fantastic, you're going to put yourself at a 0. If you feel like you have cravings all the time, you don't have any control over your nutrition, we're going to put yourself at a 10. Okay, so 10 is being extreme on the unhealthy side, and 0 is being on the healthy side. So 0 healthy and 10 not healthy. Okay, and I'm typing these in the comments too. All right, now let's look at our physical fitness. So physical fitness. And let's look at this in the ability of not only how much do you exercise, but how much do you feel fit? All right, because you could be exercising all the time and not feel fit. Do you feel like you can perform the activities that you need to perform? Do you feel like you can twist, you can turn your body, you can look around, you can, you don't have a whole lot of pain, you have the ability to move, you feel like you could, go for a little jog and you're not going to feel like you're going to croak over afterwards. 0 means you feel great, you feel like you can do whatever you need to do with your body. And 10 meaning that you are just like, no, I'm struggling to climb a flight of stairs, I'm in pain all the time, like it's just not good. So 4 is your physical body. Okay, now we're going to step outside of that just a little bit and let's look at more of the mindset in anxiety or depression. They can go hand in hand. They can also be polar opposites. So you take it as you need to take it. In your mind, do you feel like you have a healthy control over your mindset, or do you feel like your mind runs you? Do you feel like you have a healthy control over your mind? 0 meaning me and my mind, we are spot on. I have a pretty healthy relationship with my mind. 10 being my mind is just out of control. I feel like it's in control of me. I feel like we're out of sync. Okay, so mindset, and this is also anxiety and depression. Okay, all right. Now let's look at our social life. And I do not mean how many friends do you have on Facebook? How many friends do you have on Instagram? I mean face-to-face time, people that you can really, call up if you're having a hard day. Not just a text message, but actually be able to call up. Do you have a social life of any time? Do you feel supported and nourished in your social life? And your social life might include friends, it might include family, it might be networking, whatever it might be. So we're looking at our social life. Social life. And then we're going to dive in specifically with family. And our family can be our mindset of our relationship with our family, not meaning that it's necessarily a healthy relationship, but that it is not destructive to your soul. So maybe your family is just really drama and it's really bothering you all the time, and you feel like that's a big piece of nourishment that's missing from your soul, then that would be a 10. You could also still have a family drama life and you distance yourself from it in a very healthy way, and you're just like, that's my family, but I get my family nourishment also from my friends, and I feel like I've come to terms with that and I feel okay with it. So that drama in doesn't necessarily determine the rating, but it's your relationship with it. And this can also be if you are a parent, and how do you feel as a parent? And so you can be the judge of how this is and how you want to improve this and how that sticks out in your mind. But 10 means it needs a lot of work, and 0 means you're in a pretty good, healthy space. So we're looking at our family. Okay. Next up, we're looking at our self-development. So our self-development, and I'm putting words before themselves. So our self-development means, how do you feel that you are challenging yourself, that you're growing, that you're evolving, that you're pushing yourself, and often this is either self-challenges or challenges life is giving us, and we are just climbing the stairs in a very healthy mindset. Or maybe you feel really stagnant and you feel like you are the same exact person that you were 10 years ago, going through the same exact struggles that you were 5 to 10 years ago, and life just keeps repeating as if you're on a hamster wheel. 0 meaning you're healthy, you are always developing, you've got a really good relationship with self. 10 means you are stagnant. You're like, I am in the same place I was 5, 10 years ago. Nothing's changing, nothing's evolving. I don't have a good relationship with myself. I don't want to look in the mirror. I don't want to work on me. I want to avoid that. That would be your 10 on self-development. Okay? And then let's look at career. And we're going to separate this from finances. Career means your job, and you can also be evolving in your career, but how satisfied do you feel with that? And this can vary from person to person. Maybe you are a gas station clerk and you love your job because you get to meet new people every day and you feel fine and dandy with that. That is perfectly welcome. Maybe you feel like you are at a 0, you're in a healthy place. Or maybe you feel like you're the vice president of a company and you feel like you're not being able to do everything you want to do and you really want to shift and change your career. So this does not necessarily mean your job title, but this means your relationship with your career and where you feel in that. You're going to rate yourself at a 0. I am in a really great place. I feel like I'm climbing. I feel really satisfied with my job and with my career and all of that. I'm at a 0, meaning in a good way. 10 meaning I hate my job. I feel like I'm never going anywhere and I really need some big changes to happen. Then you're at a 10. Okay? And you can judge and sway where you are on that 0 to 10. All right. Next up, we are doing our finances. And I think I'm at 10. 10 as finances and money. But I'm also going to put wealth in here too, because we can have quite the relationship with these words. So finances, money, and wealth. You can have a great career, but not necessarily be making the money that you want to make. Maybe you make good money and you don't spend it well. Maybe you deny yourself wealth and development in that sense, or luxury. You could be making lots of money and still be shopping the bargain rack and spending all your money at the Dollar Tree and having no money at the end of the week. Are you living paycheck to paycheck, or are you really allowing yourself to have the cushions of the savings account, feeling like you can go on vacation when you want to go on vacation? So what is your relationship with wealth, luxury, money, and your finances? And I often tell people, when we really start to look at our nutrition and our diet, the finances tend to go really well hand in hand with that, because not that we necessarily do calories in, calories out on my program, but there is a certain degree of what's coming in and what's going out. And that same flow is happening with the currency within our life as well. So your food is the currency of your energy as well as your exercise. And so it's this in and out. And that's the terms that I work with a lot, is working with it on an energetic level of in and out, yin and yang, finding that balance, which is one of the reasons why I called our women's program is Balanced Goddess. All right, so this is where you're getting your self-assessment. You can see in the comments that we're rating ourselves in these areas of 0 to 10. 0 meaning you're great. So then you're going to add all of these up. The closer you are to 0, the healthier you are, but we're not necessarily looking at that big number at the end. This is just for an overall general look at it. We want to break each one of these down because we want to say, which one do you want to work on first? If you have a whole bunch of ones that are at 10, then you're just going to have to choose one. And maybe some of them can go in tandem. but you most likely have one that's particularly at a 10 and another one that's kind of feeding into that. So you might have two that you want to choose. Really, we're looking at just working on one. Okay? And give yourself a props on any of them that you're really close to 0. Give yourself a little pat on the back, because that means you've paid some attention to those, or it's just become a little bit easier in those areas. And then you're going to add up on the other column, and let's see where you are on your number. And so you go ahead and comment if you want to share what number, what your tally, what your total is, and looking at that and saying then on the other side, maybe you write a little column and say where you'd like to be on each one of those. Where would you like to be in 90 days with each one of those areas? Realistically, where would you like to be in 90 days? What changes would you like to make in your life and find solutions to your problems, or move in a good direction from where you're at in 90 days? What would that look like? And this is where, if you have a little trouble daydreaming about what the future could look like, it doesn't have to be this super far off long-term goal. Like, it doesn't have to be. It's great if you have that. But it could just say, like, what improvements would I like to make? Where would I like to be in 90 days with each one of these? And it might be just changing 2 points on them. I want to take it from a 10 to an 8. That's pretty awesome. And in 90 days, especially if you're working on 2 or 3 of them and you want to take it from a 10 to an 8, and that seems really possible and doable for you, then fantastic. Let's do it, because a little bit of change and a little bit of intention can go a long way. So setting an intention to say that I'm going to focus on this key area of my life for the next 3 months, 90 days. And maybe you're like, I got this. I'm going to do this one for 30 days, this one for 30 days, and this one for 30 days. I caution you on doing that, because then you're going to be thinking about what's coming up. And what we really want to focus on is one. Not thinking about what you're going to do next. You don't have to. Don't do that to yourself. Just pick one and just wholeheartedly focused on this one area. This one area that you really want to work on. Because what tends to happen is, just like when you're working out, I might be doing the lat pull down, all right? And although I'm focused more on my lats, my core is pulling into assist. My posture is changing. My breathing is coming into play. And so although that's the area I'm focused on, these other areas, these other muscles are going to come in to assist. And so other areas of your life might start to change. So at 90 days, we would completely do this full assessment all over again to see where we've changed, where our relationship, where our focus has changed with these areas of our life. Because it's not about how other people are showing up into these areas. It's how we are showing up in these areas for ourselves. What is our relationship, our perception? What is the story that we tell ourselves regarding these areas of our life? They could stay exactly the same, but how you view it could change. And therefore the number on that assessment would change. All right, so this is your step 1 in creating a well-nourished life. I hope that you can join us in our Facebook tribe, which is Facebook/groups/FigLeaf.Fit. So this is the FigLeaf Yoga and Fitness group for us creating a well-nourished life. I'm Izzy, and I hope you can join us in the group. We'll be talking more. We've got our 10-day cleanse coming up, and so I'll be dropping some videos in each day with the cleanse. We've got some exercises, some breathing, and then if you want to just really dive into yoga and meditation, you can join the Facebook group I Love Yoga, or to find that one a lot faster is just groups/yoga with Izzy. And so that one's Yoga with Izzy, but if you search the group, it's I Love Yoga. And we have a women's group as well, and that's our Balanced Goddess Wisdom Circle. Balanced Goddess Wisdom Circle, where in the upcoming months there's going to be a lot more coming into that group. We're really trying to form it, get the community, get the conversation going as we are working on our Warrior Goddess training. So we'll be talking about that. Don't worry, you won't miss out too much though, especially because I'll be talking in general about some of the concepts within the book, so that it can also apply to you gentlemen if any of you all are watching, because I don't want you all to miss out. And then I'm working on my own book, and a lot of this self-development and mindset and how we view energy coming in and out of our lives will be definitely within there, and a little bit more of this, quantum physics kind of, just magical stuff that will be into this book with manifestation and abundant mindset as well. Hoping that I can have that finished by the end of the year, maybe January. So we shall see. But if you'd like more information, you'd like to stay in touch, go over to my website, sign up for the email list so you can stay in contact and stay up to date with the emails and what's going on and special promos that I will be doing each month. Like last month, or I guess it's this month, but technically, like, we're pretty much done. So for October, I had a promo where you got 2 hours, and it was about $600 worth of services for only $150. So it was like getting a big sampler package. And so I'm gonna try to do some like fun little things that'll only be via email for those promos. So you have to be on the email list to get those, and you'll want to sign up right away because they'll be only available for a very short period of time. All right. Thank you for joining me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hello.